My name is Luna. I am 29 years old, and this is my story. For 5 years, my life was perfect. I want to tell you about those 5 years. I want to tell you about the happiness. And I want to tell you how it all changed. I live in a small town, the kind of town where everyone knows your name. There are big oak trees on Main Street. The houses have colorful gardens. It is a quiet place, a peaceful place. For 5 years, this peaceful town was my heaven, because here I had Leo. Leo was my world. We met when I moved here for a small job at the local bookstore. He walked in one day, looking for a book about stars. He had the kindest eyes I had ever seen. They were brown, like warm coffee. He smiled, and my heart did a little jump. We talked for an hour that day, not just about stars. We talked about dreams, about music, about everything. It was easy, so easy. He asked me for coffee the next day, and the day after that. Soon, we were always together. Leo made my world bright. He was funny. He made me laugh until my stomach hurt. He was also caring. He always remembered the little things. He knew I liked my tea with honey. He knew I loved walking in the rain. He made me feel seen. He made me feel loved. After a year, we moved into a small blue house together. It had a big window in the living room. We would sit there in the evenings. We watched the sun set. The sky would turn pink and orange. He would hold my hand. We didn't need to talk much. We just felt happy. We felt at peace. Our life was a quiet, beautiful song. We had routines. Simple, happy routines. On Saturdays, we went to the farmer's market. We bought fresh bread and sweet strawberries. On Sundays, we took long walks in the woods behind our house. Leo would tell me stories about the trees. He knew all their names. I felt so safe with him, like nothing bad could ever happen. Our friends would say we were the perfect couple. "You two are so lucky," my friend Sarah once said. And I believed her. I felt lucky. Every single day. I had a job I liked, a town I loved, and a man who was my best friend and my great love. What more could I ask for? Leo grew up in this town. He had a history here. I knew about his past, of course. We talked about everything. I knew he had a girlfriend in high school. Her name was Clara. They were childhood sweethearts. Everyone thought they would get married. But she left for a big city after school. She wanted a different life, a bigger life. Leo said it hurt him a lot back then, but he also said it was a long time ago. "That was a different life, Luna," he told me once. "You are my life now. Only you." I believed him. I never felt worried about Clara. She was just a story from the past. A ghost. She was not real to me. For 5 years, she was not real. Our life was real. Our blue house was real. Our love was real. It was strong. I felt it in my bones. I thought our love could survive anything. I was happy. Truly, deeply happy. Then one sunny Tuesday afternoon, everything started to change. I was at the bookstore. Sarah, my friend, came in. She looked excited. "Guess what?" she said. "Guess who is moving back to town?" I smiled. "Who?" I asked. "Clara," she said. "Clara Jensen. She's coming back." The name hung in the air. Clara. For a moment, I didn't understand. Then I remembered Leo's old girlfriend, the ghost from the past. My heart felt strange, a little cold. "Oh," I said, "really? Why?" "I don't know," Sarah said, still smiling. "Her parents still live here. Maybe she got tired of the city." Sarah didn't know about Leo and Clara. Not many new people did. It was old town history. She just saw it as exciting news, an old face returning. But for me, it felt different. It felt like a small, dark cloud in my perfect blue sky. I told myself I was being silly. It was nothing. People move back home all the time. It didn't mean anything. Leo loved me. Our life was perfect. I pushed the cold feeling away. But it was there, hiding in a corner of my heart, waiting. That evening, I told Leo the news. We were cooking dinner together. The kitchen was warm and smelled like garlic and tomatoes. "Sarah told me Clara Jensen is moving back," I said. I tried to sound casual, like it was just normal town gossip. Leo stopped chopping vegetables. He was quiet for a moment, just a moment, but it felt long. "Oh," he said, "wow, I haven't heard that name in years." He started chopping again, a little faster this time. "That's surprising." He didn't look at me. I watched his face. I was looking for something. I don't know what, surprise, sadness, but his face was just blank, hard to read. "Is that okay?" I asked softly. He finally looked at me. He put down the knife and came to me. He put his arms around me. "Of course, it's okay, Luna," he said. He kissed my forehead. "She is just someone from my past, a long time ago. It doesn't change anything. You and I, we are forever." He held me tight. I wanted to believe his words. I did believe them. But the small, cold feeling didn't go away completely. It just got quieter, hiding, waiting for her to arrive. A few weeks later, she came back. I remember the day I first saw her. I was walking home from the bookstore. A moving truck was parked outside the old Jensen house. A woman was standing on the lawn, talking to her parents. She had long, dark hair that flowed in the wind. She was laughing. Her laugh was loud and happy. She turned, and our eyes met for a second. It was her. Clara. She was beautiful. Even more beautiful than the old pictures I had seen. She looked confident, bright, like a star from the big city. I quickly looked away and walked faster. I felt small. I felt plain. I felt invisible. Leo ran into her the next day. He told me about it that evening. "I saw Clara at the grocery store," he said. He sounded casual, too casual. It was strange, seeing her after all this time. "What did you talk about?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light. "Oh, you know, old times." She asked about my family. I asked about the city. "It was nice," he said. "Just nice. Nice." That word felt strange. A few days later, he ran into her again. At the post office, then at the gas station. Our small town suddenly felt very, very small. Each time he mentioned her name, the cold feeling inside me grew a little bigger. I told myself I was being jealous. I hated that feeling. I trusted Leo. I did, but I couldn't stop the fear. The first big test came a month after she returned. It was a Saturday, our day. We were at our favorite little cafe, the Daily Bean. We always sat at the same table, by the window. Leo was telling me a funny story about a customer at his work. I was laughing. It felt like a normal, happy Saturday. Then the bell on the cafe door jingled, and she walked in. Clara, she saw us immediately. A huge smile spread across her face. Leo, she called out. She walked over to our table. I can't believe it. I keep running into you. She looked at me. Her smile was friendly. You must be Luna, she said. I've heard wonderful things about you. My smile felt fake. Hi, Clara. It's nice to meet you, I said. My voice sounded small. Leo stood up. Clara, this is Luna, my girlfriend, he said. I didn't like how he said it. Girlfriend. It sounded so simple, so temporary. He usually called me my Luna. Do you want to join us? Leo asked her. He didn't ask me first. My heart sank. Our table, our special Saturday routine. And now she was here, sitting with us. The conversation changed immediately. It wasn't our conversation anymore. It was their conversation. They talked about teachers from high school. They laughed about old parties. They had so many inside jokes. Stories I didn't know. People I had never met. They were speaking a language I didn't understand. A language of shared history. I sat there sipping my cold tea. I tried to smile. I tried to join in. But I couldn't. I was an outsider, a guest at my own table. Leo and Clara were so lost in their memories. Sometimes they seemed to forget I was even there. He would look at her when she talked. His eyes had a light in them, a light I hadn't seen before. Or maybe a light I hadn't seen in a long time. I felt invisible. It was a terrible feeling. After what felt like forever, Clara looked at her watch. Oh, I have to go, she said. It was so great catching up, Leo. Then she looked at me. So nice to finally meet you, Luna. She smiled again. And then she was gone. The silence she left behind was heavy. Leo turned to me, his smile fading a little. That was a surprise, he said. Yeah, I said quietly. I couldn't look at him. Are you okay? He asked. He touched my hand. His hand felt warm, but I felt cold inside. I'm fine, I lied. Just a little tired. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to be the jealous girlfriend. So I stayed quiet. But our happy Saturday was broken. The beautiful song of our life had a wrong note in it now. A loud, jarring note. And it was the sound of her name. Clara. After that day at the cafe, things started to change more. The small changes became bigger, harder to ignore. Leo started using his phone more. He would smile at a text message. When I asked who it was, he would say, "Oh, just a friend." But I knew. I felt it was her. Sometimes his phone would ring, and he would walk into another room to answer it. Our blue house, our safe place, suddenly had secrets in it. He started talking about her more. "Clara is thinking of starting a small business here. Clara remembers that old hiking trail we used to love. Clara, Clara, Clara." Her name was always there, a ghost at our dinner table, a whisper in our quiet evenings. I felt like I was going crazy. Was I imagining things? Was I being unfair? I tried to be understanding. I tried to be the cool, modern girlfriend. She was an old friend. People are allowed to have friends. But my heart told me this was different. This wasn't just friendship. It was something more. Something I couldn't fight. The worst part was the loneliness. I felt so alone in my fear. I couldn't talk to Sarah. She liked Clara. She thought it was great that she was back. How could I tell her I wished Clara had stayed in the big city? How could I explain this dark feeling in my gut? So I kept it all inside. The fear and sadness grew, like a dark garden in my soul. One Friday night, we had a date planned. Our special night. We were going to a nice restaurant in the next town. I bought a new dress. I was excited. I thought, maybe this will help. Maybe we can find our way back to how we were before she came back. An hour before we were supposed to leave, Leo called me. "Luna, I am so sorry," he said. His voice sounded strange. "I have to cancel tonight." My heart dropped. "Why? What's wrong?" I asked. "Something came up. An old friend is having a hard time. I need to be there for them." "A friend?" I asked. "Who?" There was a pause. "It's complicated, Luna. I'll explain later. I'm really sorry." And he hung up. I stood there in my new dress. The house was quiet. Too quiet. My excitement was gone, replaced by a cold, heavy feeling. I knew it was her. I didn't have proof, but I knew. I took off the dress. I put on my old pajamas. I ordered a pizza I didn't want to eat. I sat on the sofa. The big window showed a dark sky. No stars tonight. Later that evening, I was scrolling on my phone, just trying to distract myself. And then I saw it. A picture, posted by one of Clara's friends. It was a group of people at a bar, laughing, holding drinks. And in the middle of the group was Leo. And right next to him, smiling, was Clara. He wasn't helping a friend who was having a hard time. He was out, having fun, with her. I stared at the picture for a long time. My heart felt like it was breaking into a million tiny pieces. It wasn't just a lie. It was the ease of the lie. He didn't even think twice. He chose her over me. He chose their fun over our special night. The picture was the proof I didn't want, but the proof I needed. I wasn't crazy. My fear was real. The ghost was real, and she was stealing my life. That night, I cried. I cried for my lost 5 years, for our broken, perfect life, for the man I thought I knew. I cried until I had no more tears. And when the sun came up, I knew something had to be done. I couldn't live like this, walking on eggshells, feeling invisible, waiting for my heart to be broken again and again. I had to talk to him. I had to know the truth, no matter how much it hurt. The beautiful song was over. Now, there was only a painful silence, and I couldn't live in the silence anymore. The next morning, I waited for him to come home. I heard his car pull into the driveway. My heart was pounding like a drum. He walked in, looking tired. He saw my face. He saw the pizza box on the table. He knew. "Luna," he started. "I can explain." "I saw the picture, Leo," I said. My voice was quiet, but it was strong, stronger than I felt. "You lied to me." He looked down. He couldn't meet my eyes. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I didn't want to hurt you." Hurt me? I felt a strange, cold anger rise inside me. "You lied. You canceled our date to be with her. How did you think that would make me feel?" "It wasn't like that," he said, finally looking up. His eyes were full of pain. "Some old friends decided to get drinks at the last minute. Clara was there. It just happened." "Things don't just happen, Leo," I said. "You make choices. And you chose to lie to me." We stood in our living room. The morning sun streamed through the big window. But it didn't feel warm. It felt harsh. It showed the cracks in our perfect life. "I love you, Luna," he said. His voice broke. "You have to believe me. Clara, she's just a friend. It's complicated. We have a lot of history." "I know," I said. "And I feel like I can't compete with that history. I feel like a guest in your life, Leo." Ever since she came back, tears started to roll down my cheeks. I feel invisible. He came to me then. He tried to hold me, but I stepped back. "Please," he begged, "don't do this. I'll fix it. I'll talk to her. I'll set boundaries. I will do anything. Please, don't give up on us." He looked so broken, so sincere. And I loved him. I loved him so much. I looked around our blue house, at the life we built. 5 years. Was I going to throw it all away because of a ghost? Part of me wanted to run, to leave. But another part, a bigger part, wanted to stay, wanted to believe him. So I did. "Okay, Leo," I whispered. "Okay, we can try. But no more lies, please, no more lies." "No more lies," he promised. He held me then, and I let him. I buried my face in his chest, but even in his arms, I felt a small shiver of fear. Could we really fix this? Could we really go back to the way we were? For a few weeks, it seemed like we could. Leo kept his promise. He was more honest. He told me when he talked to Clara. He was home every night. He was more attentive. He held my hand more. He told me he loved me every day. He was trying. I could see he was trying very hard. The cold feeling in my heart began to melt. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe his connection to her was just a strong friendship. Maybe our love was stronger. I started to hope again. I wanted our quiet, beautiful song back. and for a little while, I could almost hear the music again. Then came the annual town festival. The whole town was there. There were food stalls, music, and games. It was a happy day. We went with Sarah and some other friends. Leo held my hand tightly. He didn't leave my side. I felt safe. I felt happy. I thought, see, everything is okay. But then, later in the evening, the band started playing an old song. I saw Leo's face change. He looked towards the stage. And then he looked across the crowd. His eyes found her. Clara. She was standing with her parents. She was looking at him too. They shared a look that said 1,000 things I would never understand. Leo squeezed my hand. "I'll be right back," he said. "I just want to say hi to her parents." It sounded innocent, normal, so I nodded. "Okay," I said. I watched him walk through the crowd. I watched him talk to her parents. They all smiled. Then her parents walked away towards the food stalls, and Leo and Clara were left alone. They stood a little away from the crowd, near a big oak tree. The festival lights twinkled around them. They started talking. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I could see their faces. I watched them for a long time. They weren't touching. They weren't doing anything wrong. But the way they looked at each other, it was everything. It was like no one else existed. He was smiling a soft smile. A smile I hadn't seen him smile at me in a long time. She tucked a piece of hair behind her ear. A small, simple movement. But he watched it like it was the most beautiful thing in the world. They were in their own bubble. Their own world of shared history. A world where I did not belong. And in that moment, under the festival lights, I finally understood. I could not fight this. It wasn't about lies anymore. It was about a connection. A deep, old connection that was still alive. He wasn't just my Leo anymore. Maybe he never was completely. Part of his heart was still with her, and it always would be. The beautiful song in my head stopped. Forever. All I could hear was a deafening silence. All I could feel was a deep, calm sadness. It wasn't an angry feeling. It wasn't jealousy. It was just truth. The final, painful truth. I turned away. I couldn't watch anymore. I found Sarah. "I don't feel well," I told her. "I'm going to go home." She looked worried, but she nodded. I walked away from the festival, from the music, from the happy crowds. I walked home alone, under the dark sky. The dream was over. Our perfect life was a beautiful memory. But it was not my future. I knew what I had to do. I didn't cry on the walk home. I felt strangely calm, empty. When I got to our blue house, it didn't feel like my home anymore. It felt like a stage, a place where I had been playing a part, the part of the happy girlfriend. But the play was over now. I went to our bedroom, and I took out a suitcase. I started packing, just my clothes, my books, the things that were mine. I didn't cry. I just moved, methodical, quiet. Each folded shirt felt like a goodbye. Each packed book was a step towards a new life. a life without him. Leo came home hours later. He found me in the living room, sitting on the sofa with my suitcase next to me. He saw the suitcase, and his face went pale. "Luna, what are you doing?" he asked. His voice was a whisper. "I'm leaving, Leo," I said calmly. I looked at him, really looked at him. I still loved the man I saw, but he was not just mine. I knew that now. "Why?" he asked. He looked confused, lost. "What happened? I thought we were okay." "I saw you tonight," I said, "with her at the festival. We were just talking, Luna. I promise. Nothing happened," he said, his voice getting louder, desperate. "I know nothing happened," I said softly. "That's the problem. Nothing needed to happen. I saw it in your eyes, Leo. I saw it in the way you looked at her. You are still in love with her." He opened his mouth to deny it, to argue. But then he closed it. The fight went out of his eyes. He just sank onto a chair opposite me. He looked defeated, because he knew I was right. He couldn't lie anymore. "Not about this. I don't know what to do, Luna," he finally said. His voice was thick with tears. Seeing her again, it brought everything back. I didn't want it to. I love you so much. But I'm so confused. Finally, the truth. The messy, painful truth. Hearing him say it hurt. It hurt like a knife in my heart. But it also set me free. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't just jealous. I was right. "I know," I said. And I think I did know. He wasn't a bad person. He didn't want to hurt me. He was just torn between his past and his present. But I couldn't live like that. I couldn't be his present while he dreamed of his past. I deserved more. I deserved a love that was whole. A love that was sure. I stood up. "I can't live in the middle of your confusion, Leo," I said. "It's not fair to me. It's not fair to you. And it's not fair to her." I picked up my suitcase. My legs felt shaky, but my resolve was strong. "I love you, but I have to leave." Tears were streaming down his face. "Please, Luna, don't go." This was the hardest part. Walking away from the man I loved. From the life we built. Every part of me wanted to stay. To hold him. To try again. But my mind, for the first time in a long time, was clear. This was the only way for both of us. "Goodbye, Leo," I whispered. I turned and walked to the door. I didn't look back. If I looked back, I knew I would stay. I opened the door, stepped out into the night, and closed it behind me. The click of the lock was the sound of my old life ending. The first few months were the hardest. I stayed with Sarah for a while. She was a good friend. She didn't ask too many questions. She just made me tea and let me cry. The world felt gray, lifeless. Everything reminded me of him. Our cafe, our walking trail, the bookstore, the entire town was a map of our memories. But slowly, very slowly, I started to heal. I found a small apartment of my own. It was simple. Not a pretty blue house, but it was mine. I filled it with my books. I bought new bedsheets. I started to build a new life, a life just for me. I learned a lot in that time. I learned that I am stronger than I thought. I learned that being alone is not the same as being lonely. I started to enjoy my own company. I went for long walks by myself. I discovered new music. I found parts of myself I had forgotten. The Luna before Leo. The Luna who was just Luna. I learned that sometimes love is not enough. You can love someone with all your heart, but if they are not ready to love you completely, you have to let them go. You have to choose yourself. Choosing myself was the hardest and best thing I have ever done. I still live in the same town. I still work at the bookstore. Sometimes I see Leo from a distance. I heard he and Clara are together now. Officially, it still hurts a little. A small pang in my chest. But it's a healing hurt. A scar, not an open wound. I hope he is happy. I truly do. My life is not perfect anymore. It is not a beautiful, quiet song. It is messier now. Quieter in some ways, louder in others. But it is real. It is my own. And I am happy. In a different way. A stronger way. If you are listening to my story, maybe you feel lost too. Maybe your heart is broken. Maybe you are living in someone else's shadow. Please know this. You are not alone. It is okay to be scared. But you are stronger than you know. Your story is not over. Be brave. Choose yourself. Walk through the fear. Because on the other side of that fear is you. Waiting, whole and free. Keep going. You can do this. You can find your way back to your own beautiful song.